Listen up, Raiders. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnaz.
And you might be able to tell, I caught a cold. I don't feel very good. I've actually been out and about today, so
he got Steve AIDS.
He did get Steve.
And another note, we finally got one at our local Walmart.
Actually, I'm thinking that's probably what got me sick.
And I haven't seen it yet, and Steve told me this is the greatest thing since sliced bread and Dragon Wars.
Best hour and a half you'll ever spend.
So, look for in the future. Well, actually, this review might come out before this. We don't know, but we'll see. Okay, anyways, let's do this.
Yeah, but anyways, today we're going to go over our top 10 figures of the decade. And there was one figure, I'm like, I think it might have been originally, came out prior. But, the one in particular, I know didn't come out till I got married. So, it's in 2010. But, pretty much, I've been hardcore collecting since, I'd say 2012. I've been on a pretty good tear.
Yeah.
Of just buying figures.
Yeah, I would say it's been that long.
It's been quite a bit. It was about a couple years before we started Super.
Yeah.
And then from there on out, just been
and we're at that point.
Buying.
And at that point, we're starting to run out of figures here. Even in Steve's collection, stuff we can review is just starting to run out.
Getting there. Well, it's we've done unboxings and then you do a review, but it gets kind of repetitive at that point.
Yeah. For
some of those unboxings, because it's some of the stuff I know it's not going to give you, so the unboxings I try to be a little bit more thorough with, like the Star Wars, wrestling, yada yada yada.
They just won't get views, so what's the point of doing them?
Yeah, so it's I like to show you guys what I get in and what I think of them at the time, but to sit down and dedicate time on the thing
and the photos, and it takes a long time, peeps. It takes a long time.
But anyways, back to the list. So it's pretty much anything that came out between 2010 to the end of 2019.
I'll go first. An honorable mention would be the SH Figure Arts Nappa. It was just a good figure. I love it. And surprisingly, unlike Vegeta, he came with a little
beam. He has beams. I think as a figure arts, a Dragon Ball Z figure arts figure, he was really good. Because he has a beam effect. He comes with a bunch of accessories. And that's kind of what you want out of a Dragon Ball figure.
And it's what I wanted. Even though, sadly, Steve got me Vegeta signed and not Nappa. Failing Steve.
Sorry. He wasn't there. What do you want from me? You want me Chris Sabat to sign your Nappa?
At this point, yeah.
At least you lucked out. I got a Pop sign.
Wah.
At least it was an all by Pop, so I was pretty excited.
So now this list might not necessarily be from the best to the worst. It's just,
to be honest, I guess we're gonna go from 10 to 1 by how I typed it.
Yeah.
Because number 1 was bam, I put it on the list, and then everything else just kind of started
rolling down,
and then it was the last 2. I was I had to think. But it didn't take very long. So for number 10 is the Mattel Jurassic World's Colossal T-Rex.
Now this is something that got Steven into collecting dinosaurs again.
Yeah, it's just with the Hasbro stuff, it wasn't great. And to be honest, I had the original Jurassic Park toys. I liked them as a kid, but nowadays I kind of want the dinosaurs to look like the dinosaurs, and some of them are hit and miss, and they get kind of pricey. So I personally didn't really want to grab them. My wife still bought them once in a while if she's seen them. But me, I didn't really want to get any.
Yeah, some of them pretty bad.
Yeah, especially the one I just got for her, which we're going to do a review because I got to try to recoup some money off that thing. God, it was an Xbox price. But anyways, but with the Mattel stuff, it's what I wanted. It's when I first got the Jurassic Park figures as a kid, it kind of is what the Mattel ones remind me of nowadays. Because when I was a kid, I was man, these look like the dinosaurs. These are awesome. But nowadays, they look so good. Well, the Mattel stuff looks like the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Great. Paint-offs could be maybe a little bit closer to the movie. But for the prices that they're at, I can't really complain. They're fairly inexpensive. Even the Colossal T-Rex isn't that bad.
I was just thinking about this, Steve. I got to finish 2019. At least I'll finish it in a style. And then I can leave this behind me and start 2020 fresh.
On a positive note. But the main reason I picked the Colossal T-Rex is because I feel if you had to buy one figure from the Mattel line, it's got to be the one to grab.
It's a decent price.
Decent price.
It's hefty.
It's definitely a commanding piece in your collection.
Yeah.
And it eats things. And it roars. What more do you want? I will say some of the smaller ones I think are cooler, but like if I'm going to buy one thing, I want the giant centerpiece figure, and that easily does it for him. For number 9, I originally had the NECA AVP Celtic Predator,
which is not a bad figure,
and it was kind of what really got us back into collecting Predator stuff when that thing came out. I think it was like 2016 we did the review.
Yeah, it's been a while. And
this is where they changed the body types to the
because of that, this Valve got involved in mostly Predator stuff.
Yeah. And it's where they adjusted the joints to be more like the Ultimates that we get nowadays. But then Arnez brought up the one that NECA kindly sent us, the Celtic versus Grid Alien 2-pack, which I do agree is probably the best thing out of the AVP figures to get.
Because you get a Predator and an Alien, and it's an okay Alien.
Actually, really it's probably my favorite Alien.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
Actually, it is.
Especially because he has like the translucent dome, and he actually kills predators.
And then later on, the other other aliens that came out with the damage thing were not translucent. So
yeah, the original release didn't have the translucent, but that was my one big complaint.
Yeah,
this is just like it stood out, and then they fixed it. And then you get the Celtic Predator, which is like the coolest Predator ever.
I mean, there was other NECAs that were like decent, like the Alien Queen, but for the price when it came out, 2 figures for what, like $40-$50?
I want to say it was like about 50.
Yeah,
I think it was like 50.
Or you pay $100 for one, even though it is a decent figure overall, price wise. It was.
There was nothing like the Queen. I have some complaints with, but it's still a really. Yeah, it's like the spine things you got a problem with. It doesn't really like the feet for me don't line up on the ground quite close enough. I want.
Yeah.
But these are just like,
bam,
perfect.
Good.
They're perfect figures. And like Arnez was mentioning, Predators, like pretty much like a lot of the Predators are really good. And to be honest, they're all Predators. Like there isn't that much difference between them.
Copy and paste. So
it's like pick your poison. But I felt like the AVP ones gave me like the most bang for my buck, especially in accessories. For number 8, we have the Hasbro Lightning Collection Lord Zed.
Good choice.
Which, like we had him in the top 10 best figures of 2019. I feel like
it's bang for your buck, man. You cannot go wrong, and they're actually presentable figures.
Yeah, they're best Power Ranger figures that's probably ever came out.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to say that, but
yeah, and it's like the Bandai ones I like, but like every time Bandai put out Power Ranger figures, especially stateside, they're always like stylized, and it's like, well, these are cool, but they're not like how I remember the Power Rangers from the movie or from the TV show. And the only way you can really get that is if you bought the figure arts, which at that point you're spending like $50, $60, and then trying to get them aftermarket. But then there's like exclusives of those, so those get more pricey. Well, these are $20.
You can't, like I said, bang for your buck, man. This is like the best bang for your buck. You collect Power Ranger figures, that's what you need.
Yep, please support it. I need more. Plus, they give us bad guys. Like, that's why I picked Lord Zed. When do you never get, like, good figures of the bad guys. I'm still waiting for a read-up, but hopefully.
It won't happen.
I just want to go, man. Alright, so for number 7, probably... I think it's the most expensive figure on this list. Because I think the X Plus I paid $200 for, if I remember right. We'll get to that. But it is the Solo Shigoken Gypsy Danger. Because I think he was like $240.
I can never justify the price for that figure. Figure itself, amazing.
Best Gypsy Danger figure, period.
But it's $240. And that's like...
Oh, but he is a massive figure. It's like 9 inches of pure plastic and die cast. And when you articulate him, the pistons move.
Yeah.
His arm, like you don't have to there's some stuff you gotta disassemble, but like the rocket fist, you literally like pull apart the arms and you
looks pretty
engage
good too.
The mechanisms, if you will. Plus, it lights up, makes sound. The reactor works. It has its own docking stand. And for how much I really love the movie, and I enjoyed the NECAs for the most part. Granted, a bit fragile.
It does. If it falls, it would probably break.
Yeah, that they weren't the most articulated things, but I enjoyed them. And then this thing is super articulated.
Yeah.
Detailed very nicely. And I wish I had the X pluses from Pacific Rim. That's one of those ones, like, if I get a chance, I'm going to try to grab those eventually. But I feel like he would work with those. Might be a little small, but for the most part, like, if you have to get one Pacific Rim collectible, I feel like it's the Soul Shigoken.
By collectible, that does not include a Neko ones.
Well, it makes me sad because they announced, like, they were doing more of them. And I don't know if the figure didn't do that well or whatnot, but, like, they haven't popped up anymore. Yeah. They might have even lost the rights to them. That could be a thing, too. Which made me sad because they had a Cherno Alpha, or Crimson Typhoon, that stood by itself.
I would want the Alpha. If the Alpha came out, $240. Take it.
Right? Especially at that size.
I know.
Best thing is if you could have had, like, an extra head accessory for when got the
damage
spit on it. That'd have been great.
Oh, we should watch that movie again. That movie brings back good memories.
Oh, that movie. I still just pop in it periodically. Same with the next one. Is the NECA 2014 24-inch Godzilla.
I don't understand why people don't like this figure. Like, I see it everywhere. Like, people are not fans. That is an amazing NECA figure.
I'd still say it's the best NECA Godzilla figure.
Period.
Hands down. No, it's like, it doesn't scale with anything, which I guess is kind of an issue.
And that's what a lot of people complain about.
Is, like, but it's like an articulated X Plus to me.
My God, can you imagine if they made a Mudo that would fit there?
Oh, just take the money.
Good times.
No,
good times.
I see why they never made Mudos because, like how many people really like the Mudos? Like, I would buy Mudos because they made Mudos. And I'm that guy. Like, I just buy all the monsters because that's what I do.
I mean, people taught that Godzilla and Mothra were a love story. No, the Mudos were real love story in these series.
Right? They even Najo. They give each other missiles.
Right?
Bitches love missiles.
Right? Like, God, come on, peeps.
But yeah, the 2014 had a sound effect. Worst thing about that figure is the placement for the soundboard.
Yeah, that wasn't a very smart idea.
Like, it was a very easy thing to break on that. But it had sound effects. And the articulation, for the time, was the best articulated Godzilla figure. And it didn't have a stupid bendy tail.
Yeah.
So that was great. And it's still one of my favorite NECA figures ever. For number 5, first X Plus on this list, and only X Plus.
There's a lot of good X Pluses, but this is the one. Steve will explain it.
Oh, now I think about it, it should be the... No, I cannot. Alright. I was going to say it probably should be that Eva Godzilla figure.
No.
But no. It's the 1962 Godzilla figure. Specifically the 30 centimeter. Now there's the gigantic, which I really like too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good X Pluses, but Steve doesn't own the $1,200 Shin or the Spitfire.
Well, to be honest, I say as like if we're going by sculpt, even that 65 I have is probably a better sculpt in the long run. But this was the first figure that I got that the only two other X Pluses I had prior were the 55s of Anguirus and Godzilla, which I really liked, but didn't quite sell me on the line. But I was like, these are cool. I have these two. They're like nice little centerpiece figures, calling it a day. And then I found out they had a 62, and I'm like, I do really like that suit. And he's only, I think at the time I got it for $200. I was like, sure. Order that thing, got that thing in. And then once I got that in, put it together, saw the details, and it was just like, I need more of these.
And then we made a mistake of buying Destroyer.
What was wrong with Destroyer? Other than his wing wasn't on the package. Which was a common problem. I was already aware.
Steve lucked out with Destroyer because some of the unboxings I seen, broken horns, broken wings.
Yeah, it was like the Ghidorah problem. Ghidorah was very fragile. But yeah, no, the 62 is what got me into collecting X Pluses. And while currently I don't really buy that many of them,
it's just certain sculpts.
Yeah, it's like I'm really picky on it because right now I'm at the point again where shelf space is a consideration. So larger figures,
I would get like if they would make 98, I would get that.
Yeah, 98 I would definitely hop on. I still kind of want to grab the Orga at some point, but there's too many things right now currently that have my interest swaying into other things.
Damn animes.
That's about it. You're not really that far up, but I've always been like, because especially everybody considered us like a Godzilla channel, and I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I'm more of just like a fan of Japanese stuff in general.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, I love Godzilla, but then again, I love Ultraman. I love anime. Anime is the primary thing I watch. Like, if I got spare time, I'm usually watching an anime.
Man, we have Hulu for anime. We have Crunchyroll for anime. We have Funimation.
Netflix.
We pay all these subscriptions just to watch animes.
You're not wrong. Like, I'm sad because all my, like, a bunch of animes concluded, but then again, usually when the new animes start up, I sit down and watch like 8 to 10 of them. And then I figure out which ones I want to keep watching from there. But yeah, X Plus 62, fantastic figure.
Good figure.
Number 4, going back to NECA, and our final NECA of the list is the 18-inch Donatello. I wanted to pick some of the other ones because I like the Leo is probably my favorite.
But when Donatello came out, it was like, it was done right, baby.
That's pretty much it. Because if you guys didn't know, it's the 1990s film is easily my favorite movie of all time. Love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, specifically the films. I enjoyed the cartoons too.
Yeah, like the TMNT movie, that wasn't bad. I went to movie theaters to watch that.
I like the TMNT movie more than like Turtles in Time or even the new ones.
That's actually
a good movie.
It's one of the only games I have on my Xbox where I have 1,000 achievement for it.
I don't think it took that hard much though.
I did. You have to play it twice. And then, like, sadly, Peter Jackson King Kong was one of the other games that I have 1,000 achievements on.
Yeah, I think that one you just had to beat it.
Beat it on hard.
Yeah, you had to beat it on hard, but you just had to beat it.
Yeah.
Because I think I got 1,000 in that too. So I got 1,000 in Modern Warfare.
In complete and total, I have 33 games. I only have 1,000. But then, like, stupid.
That pissed me off with Halo because I had a Halo 1,000 out, and then DLC came out and gave more achievements. And I was like, yo! And they were like, all multiplayer. And I'm just like, I hate my life. Anyways, back to the NECA Donatello. Fantastic figure. Better than the 7-inch
We should
ones?
just do a vlog channel, just us talking. Somebody would listen.
Right? But yeah, I enjoyed them better than the smaller versions. I think the detail on them shows off a little bit more.
Those shockingly surprised details.
Comes with, again, mostly everything I'd want to see from them. Bunch of extra hands. Comes with freaking pizza. And I can't think of anything better Turtles-wise. Figures I've ever personally owned or even seen that are better than these.
Even like that exclusive one from San Diego one that you got. Where it comes with the display and everything. Yeah,
I was like, the Turtles are cool, but like I still think the big ones are just better. And it kind of affords it, because it's larger, they can fit more details into them. Without having to hide stuff. That and like, the joint problems were less precedent.
Because surprisingly, like, there was that other bigger Godzilla figure, like the Jax one. Bigger does not mean better, people. I'll tell you that right now. In this case, the turtle bigger was better. Yeah,
they also weren't even the first large, like, quarter scale figures I've had. Like, I've had the Pacific Rim ones, which were okay, but had issues. Got more or less, like, the Gypsy was a little more articulated, but hard to stand. Knife Head was very fragile. The articulation never really worked for it. And just some of the other ones, like, they're cool, but never really, like, there's other options. Well, with these turtles, I don't feel like there's other options.
For the details, bang for your buck? Heck, no.
Nope. Alright, so for number 3, the only Estes Monster Arts on the list, and I don't even know if it's really the best Monster Arts, but it was my first, so I'm going with it.
It was the true love.
It was what got me into buying more Estes Monster Arts. So like after, the best thing is too, is I started off with a bang, right?
Yeah.
First Monster Arts I ever bought was the Biollante.
Smartest option, because now,
well, I see like, okay, so this is what I get for $212. So what do I get for buying the $80 Godzilla? And then just like after that, I'm like, oh, all these are great. Because like the Biollante set like a super high bar for me. And while the other ones, some of them might not have lived up to the same bar.
They live up to the expectation.
But they lived up to the expectation. No, I just fell in love with that thing. It also was probably what got me really back into collecting Godzilla.
I mean, it had some problems, some joints issues, but it was still pretty good figure overall.
Well, then it has light-up features. Like, the only real thing is like, it has ball joint problems, so stuff pops off. And the neck joint looks weird. But, like, the Godzillas look cool next to it. They scale nicely. And, like I said before then, I wasn't really buying Godzilla stuff because at the time, I didn't know where my collection went to. So I didn't really want to get into it. And seeing some of the monsters in stores, because there's like Burning Godzilla and a few other ones, and at prices I saw them in stores, I was like, this is stupid. Who's going to pay $100 for an action figure, right? I used to be that guy. But
sorry, it's just funny when he said that.
Right? It was like, who the hell's going to pay $100 for plastic? Because at the time, I was buying like the Transformers and stuff, like $20-$30. I could see me spending on toys, but getting into $100, we got problems.
Yeah, buddy.
But there was like, I want to say there was a couple figures. I don't remember if we bought them before or after, but like I was getting into buying some of the more pricey figures at the time. So like I was starting to understand where the prices were coming from.
The details.
And then decided to hop on this one. And after buying this, went back into buying Godzilla stuff, and then found my collection, and then really like got balls deep in that category. Because even after that, I went to G-Fest, and then there went $1,000.
Balls deep in Balante's mouth. Oh.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You ever been in... You know what? I don't know. You're gonna finish my sentence. So you ever gone on adventures with a girl with a spacer in her mouth? You want to live a life on the dangerous side? Steve's lived life on the dangerous side.
Wee.
Anyways, for number 2, I have a hard time believing that this is the best Figma I own, and actually I know of a few Figmas.
This is my first Figma I owned.
This was your first, and I'm pretty sure it was mine too.
This was one of the figures that...
It was this and the Guyver, I think, were my first 2.
I watched the anime, blown by the anime, and then I got the figure, and I was like, holy crap, like, this is pretty good compared to what I would just watched. I can do more than just watch. I can actually play with it.
Right? I can reenact what I see on the screen with the girl in my hands.
Yeah.
But it is the Figma Ryuko from Kill la Kill.
It was our first. Yeah, it was our first.
I'm pretty sure it was the first. It was between this or the Guyver. I can't remember which review came out first.
But it's definitely my first Figma.
You know what? We could probably figure that out while we're sitting here.
Oh God,
talking.
you got to go through so much, Steve.
If I can make my way to Super Unimportant reviews.
Take a nap, people.
It should be on the bottom.
Well, not as bad as a Geek. I think we have like almost 1,000 videos on Geek. Oh.
Yeah, thankfully for Super, we only put them out like periodically.
All the way to the bottom.
I got playlists, sir.
I don't think you do.
Should be an anime playlist.
How's it going, peeps? Anything new on your side?
Today? It was the second one. I had the Guyver first.
I'm sorry, Steve.
I'm sad now. But I would say between the two, the Ryuko is the better one. Because you get like all versions of her blade, plus face plates, extra hands, Figma bag.
God, I remember Steve told me she came in. I was so excited. I was like, wee!
Right? Because you were the one that was worried because of how much you paid for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, after buying Biolante stuff, I'm like, oh man, $45.
Nothing. And then it just kept going down the hill. $200 for other Kill la Kills. $600 for an egg. Oh.
Yeah.
Addiction, people.
I'll just say, yeah, I think you still beat me on the most money you paid for something.
I'm sorry.
Was it $600 for that?
Yeah.
So I was like, I think we got like $575 in that Ava. Yeah, because the only real better Figmas I can think that I have currently is the Madoka ones are all pretty good, like the standard ones, like the Mommy.
Yeah.
Because like again, they just come with so much stuff.
And the stupid thing is, it's like the price on the Kill la Kills, man. Oh my God.
Well, the thing too is they were more pricey. Well, like the Madoka ones were, I think they were prior to 2010, so I couldn't even put them on the list if I wanted to. But it was like when they came out, they were more like $40 with more stuff.
Yep.
Which it was already like, even at this time, you're starting to see like less is more with some of these figures.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she was like a tipping point where it was just like, I really want to buy more anime stuff like this.
For number one, I would have usually argued with Steve because I think it's just a love thing for him. But you can't argue with this. Like, this was the bang for the buck figure. Like, it came with a lot of shit. A lot.
Yeah, and it was also, again, this was like, I wouldn't say, it definitely wasn't before I really started getting into collecting, but I think, again, this is the type of figure that got me into buying more high-end figures. This is just stuff I could find at like Toys R Us and Walmart.
This is the like time in Steve's life where he was watching a lot of Optimus Prime and those guys.
Yeah, this is also probably when I really started getting more into doing reviews is when this guy came out.
Yep.
Which is MP10, Optimus Prime from the Masterpiece line, but specifically the Hasbro version. The one that was released, that was a Toys R Us exclusive, because I know that thing came out after 2010, so I'm going to go with that version in particular. That, again, came with the trailer, came with Spike, came with a bunch of accessories. You got the Matrix that goes inside of his chest.
It was just
you got the folding gun that hooks into its backpack, so you can still... Like, again, I love figures that you can have everything with it.
Everything that you seen in the TV show. Like the not Mako, like the Kill la Kill figure. She came with all the blades and everything. It's just...
Even has an energy blade, actually, like you barely ever use. And it has it. It's awesome. And it was only $100. It was cheaper than getting the import versions. That was just like sewed. I can't remember, because I think the paint job's slightly different on it too.
Yeah, isn't
There's something about it, but I think there was like subtle differences. But even just like the way it was displayed in the packaging, like you see him with the Matrix, and you got to see the trailer, and you literally knew what you were buying as soon as you looked on the shelf.
Yep.
And I remember seeing that and just falling in love with that thing. And then shortly thereafter, took it home. And then Jessica told me I had to wait till our wedding to open it, and I was really sad.
And that's where Steve ruined the list. Thank you guys for watching. Life is depressing. I'm sorry.
Subscribe. Well, anyways, what is your guys' favorite figure you bought in 2000? Well, this decade in particular. Let us know down there. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.